Okay, and we're ready. All right. Um, it's gonna be a short podcast. I don't know, making an hour, maybe less. It's not really the best time to talk about cars or basic uh, things that we would normally talk about because, for obvious reasons, I would not like to get into them because I'd like to keep it positive, as I always try to do. However, uh, there's not much content, so we kind of have to make this a bit of a negative uh, kind of today. Hopefully, get back to normal and come up with some good actual content that doesn't relate. Because I don't want to get into it, so it's not
Mm,
my
yeah.
business. I'm not affected by it, so I shouldn't be talking about it. Now, that doesn't mean that I should voice an opinion, as everyone should, but do it correctly. Okay? Don't don't take this opportunity to go and find yourself a new graphics card or loot your local Best Buy. Don't do that. This is not the time. You're just ruining the cause. That's all I'd like to say about it. You're just ruining the cause. As we all know, back in the 60s, peaceful protests got the movement going. Violent ones did not. Let's keep it that way. It works once. Let's keep it again. I don't want to have another week where we continue to talk about it. So, as we can go on, one of my favorite car spotters or leapers, his name's F Spot. He's done two videos on this exact topic. He does a good job at giving his opinion without giving his opinion. It's just unbiased. And the first one has a thumbnail of an old, or not old, but a destroyed GT3. It's a Porsche GT3. And kind of shocked me that someone would do that to someone else's piece just because you got angry at them or whatever happened. It wasn't really discussed at what happened. But I saw this video and I just decided I'm not driving. It stopped
Yeah.
me from driving. I had to drive stealthily by taking out cars that I drive anyway all the time because, well, they're easier to daily drive than others, obviously. But I had to. I'm not willing to let my nice cars get destroyed just because someone did something and everyone's now holding everyone to it. It's not something I'd like to do. It's not something I will do. So now that the looting's kind of done, I can now start driving again, which is nice. It's been nice. Got a new car coming, maybe tomorrow. It's supposed to arrive today, but there's some traffic, and we didn't have that. But I mean, you really can't come up with any more topics beside that.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean, and it's even harder for me because it really doesn't affect my everyday life. It's just how stuff is happening in America right now.
I mean, I saw it kind of extend across the world, but really it's in America.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I mean, the only thing we have here are people talking about it on Facebook and online, and in the news. But
raiding the loco Tesco's in the UK.
yeah,
I mean, there's that too. There's
yeah,
a lot of stuff that we can't comprehend. Like I said, I've never um, had to deal with it. I wasn't alive in the '60s, obviously, for obvious reasons. But so I don't know any about it. Um, of course, you always have those relatives that think differently, and
mm,
you kind of have to deal with it. I rather not talk about it or force people. I can't control what other people do. I can just control what I do, and I will do so by not trying to get myself involved.
yeah,
It's not my place to talk about it, and I won't.
yeah,
I think maybe if I was in a um, more appropriate uh, place, then maybe I would. Maybe I'll go ahead and say, yeah, you know what, I can talk about this. in a way that a lot of other people are talking about it, but I can't. So, uh, it's basically it. I can talk about the new car I bought, even though that's also not really the best topic, but it's what I got going on. I bought a new monitor. Looks nice. It's way better.
Good.
Uh,
Yeah.
it's a little nicer. I really don't know what else. There's nothing really else to fully on talk
Yeah.
about. You can talk about your off-road Civic
My, oh yeah, the
rally.
plans for my rally Civic. Yeah. So I mean, we're still trying to plan out a way to properly fit the roof rack on the car right now. That's
I don't know. All you
the
need is
stage
some
we're at.
LED rally lights, like they have on
Yeah,
old Subarus.
yeah. I was thinking maybe I really like those. Yeah, when you have 3 extra lights in
Mm-hmm.
on top of the hood.
Right, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Not like trucks have, where they have an LED strip or
No,
an LED
like
light bar on the
no, no,
on the top
not
of
like
the.
3 actual round lights.
Right, that's what I was thinking as
Yeah.
well. But
Uh,
but yeah, it's
yeah.
I mean,
After, mm,
I can.
other than that, I've done some small work on the car, actually fixing my mirrors. So I have rear wheel mirrors again that work. And
I
uh,
was
oh
I
yeah.
was doing some more construction. Even if I have a working house, doesn't mean I want to improve it
Mm,
from what we're going at. So what I'm trying to do is basically build a house that is comfortable. So if we were under another quarantine where we couldn't do anything, we couldn't even go out and drive unless you
mm,
have an essential reason, which I don't. Um, I have a house that can sustain myself for months by building a greenhouse,
mm,
so I can plant vegetables, and also this greenhouse will be humidity control. So for just say I want to become Florida and grow oranges,
yeah.
or become Georgia and grow some peaches, I can do that with the humidity.
Mm,
The light is a little bit different. I might have to create some artificial lighting to hopefully accommodate for not Florida sun. So
yeah.
that might have some things, but try doing that. Um, I got new neighbors. If you want to consider them neighbors, it's not like we live 2 miles apart, but we don't. It's like maybe a half a mile apart, but those are nice, I guess. They
Yeah.
also like cars. I don't think they're gonna like cars once they hear me drive by 8 times, like my last ones.
Yeah.
You
Is
know,
that why they left?
a straight piped 4-liter V8 is uh, not the quietest thing in the world.
And it's not optimal way to greet your neighbors in the morning.
It's not like I leave at 7 o'clock in the morning to go for a drive, and they just hear this loud pitch. I mean, I don't blame them, but it also doesn't help that having loud Ferraris, having a loud Lamborghini here soon. We'll talk
Yeah.
about that later. Having stuff like that is not helping the situation. But they said they like cars, so we'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah.
It's like the old lady's house in the Grand Tour, where she says she likes cars. I mean, she said she used to own one, and Jeremy says we're gonna see how see how she likes cars once we've been past here a few times. It's exactly what's gonna happen. We'll see. No,
Yeah.
the reason why the other neighbors left is because it was getting older, and they can't have a multi-layer house. They have to live on one part, and they didn't want to like completely tear the entire house down and rebuild just a little. They didn't want to do that, so they just found a new one. I can understand that.
Yeah. Sounds
That's
easier.
something I can understand. Being young,
Mm.
I can walk up some steps. even though I do have an elevator, but we don't use it that often because exercise.
Yeah,
And
stairs.
I don't know. People are like, you know what's nice to have in a house? An elevator. And I'm like, it's nice to have an elevator when you got 6 floors. It's not nice to have an elevator if you got 2 floors and you're just
Yeah.
lazy and you don't want to
Um,
walk up 2 flights of stairs. I don't care if you have dogs. It's like I said, it's nice to have
yeah.
that elevator when you have 6 different floors, not including the basement.
I mean, maybe if you need to like get something big up there, something heavy, you know.
Right, that does help, but
Yeah.
again, from my case, if I'm just like really tired, I'll take the elevator. I'm not taking some stairs. It's 6 flights of stairs. I'm not dealing with that. I'm gonna go in the elevator, listen to elevator music, which by the way I did install. You know this elevator music that's like every elevator has.
Yeah, yeah,
I put that just to have that kind of feeling.
yeah.
It's, I don't know why. It's just something
You
I
should
went with.
you should have made it really slow and then like have a bunch
Oh
of
no,
floor
I did.
indicators.
Oh no, I did.
Oh yeah.
I even so I made it exactly like an elevator. However, it won't break down
Yeah.
because for the last 6 months, knowing that I was gonna have one, I decided to get myself used to all the mechanics to an elevator,
Mm,
so I can fix them myself.
good.
I'm not licensed or certified, but it's on my own house. Who
Yeah, I
cares?
mean it's not like you're gonna go fix someone else's elevator.
I mean, I can. I'm just not certified, so I wouldn't
Oh.
recommend it. Always want to trust a certified pro, not some guy that just learned how to fix an elevator 6 months ago.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't quite work, but yeah. So that's so we're doing that. Got the elevator music. We're trying to make the so we have a house and then a guest house, which is what I'm living in now. So, and the reason why I have that is because everyone that has a massive home has one.
Mm,
I mean, it's just true. If you come up, let's give on a idea of Elon Musk's house before he's selling it. His house
mm,
has a guest house.
yeah.
There's a house in L.A. Selling for 8 million, has a guest part of the house, just completely to the guest. It's completely separate from the actual. I mean, there's just a walkway connecting each house, but it's completely separate from the rest of the house. Mine's weren't completely separated. There's no walkway. It's just a smaller house on the same plot. And this house is old. It was built in the 1920s.
Mm.
It's the upstairs, which is where I'm at now, has no installation. Like I said, if I took down this wall that my TV was mounted to, took down the other wall, I'd go outside. There's no insulation.
Well,
There's also no installation on the roof. So without having any AC, today's supposed to be 83. It'd be 103 up here. It's kind of unlivable. Right now it's 79. It's really comfortable, as I live in more warmer temperatures than a lot of people. People like the 60s. No, it's too cold. I like it in that 70 range. Even
mm,
if it's like for the winter, it will be really cold. That's why I just put heaters in. Not that hard. We're not gonna redo it because no one's gonna be living in here. I'm doing that because I'd like to see the overall renovations, and
yeah.
also just see if it's livable. If I'm if I can tell you that it's livable, then you can live here for a day or two. It's not that bad,
Yeah.
and I've already proved you can do that. But like I said, I'd just like to renovate the kitchen, get an actual 2-car garage. We have 2 garages, but the one is just used for like tools and stuff, because the shed's an interesting place. The shed, so these past owners were very mean to their animals by locking their dogs in the shed. So there's a lot of dog animal things, you know what I mean, in the shed. So because of that, we don't want to go in there. We don't know what's in there. I'm thinking about just blowing it up or burning it down. Let's just get rid of that. It's not needed. But so basically we only got one car garage. It's not very nice. The garage isn't level. The driveway isn't level. Um, um, it's basically livable if you don't care about luxury. It's a house. You got a roof over your head. That's about all you need.
That's all you need.
I go over the extra level because it's kind of weird. Okay, so it's kind of weird to see a trailer, like those trailers that in a trailer park, and they have a
Yeah.
Lamborghini in the driveway. You kind of have to have the house to match.
Yeah.
So, and I've done that, so I don't need it. Basically, half my floors I don't use. I just have it to say, hey, I own this nice car. So they say, oh, you own this nice house, and I do. I built it. Not by myself, but I built it. I planned it, made all the plans, and made it myself. So we got all that. Now there is something I wanted to do, and it's a little project of mine. I want to build a floor completely, like the walls are completely computers. And the reason why is because I will never need a cable box. I just have all my streaming things on a PC, and it will be inside the wall. Not like the case will be inside the wall, but there's just going to be like a server room in the wall that supports the entire house, but it's completely hidden from the eye. So it's just behind the walls, and because of that, you can just plug in any TV into this server, and you get instant Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, whatever streaming service you want is on it. And that's just because why not? It's something different. It's a different selling point. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
can you tell me something interesting about this house? Yeah, the third floor is a computer. What I mean by that is just a bunch of servers behind the wall, and you can just plug in anything and you can go stream it.
Yeah.
By the way, this PC, this server room, there's going to be a PC into it, so if you wanted to, like, build a gaming room, this PC would be fine. This PC has quite a lot of RAM. It has 64 gigs of RAM, which is why? Why do you need that? Of course,
Yes, it's a lot.
it's got 2 graphics cards. Again, don't know why, but it's got 2 motherboards, so it's got 64 in each motherboard. 2 280s, so RTX 280 Ti's. It's got cooling fans for days, radiator fans for days. It's got a 1600 watt power supply. By the way, wasn't cheap. It's like a wasn't
It's
cheap.
like a monster rig, you know.
Exactly. It's not necessary, but again, interesting selling point.
Hmm.
Why not? So why did you build this house? I wanted it just so I can have a floor filled with computers.
The perfect gaming room.
It is literally. I'm building the perfect gaming room. When you think of a gaming room, this is the definition of a unlimited budget gaming room, which is basically what it is. So it's got a bunch of arcade machines, old pinball machines like Pac-Man, foosball, pool table, an entire room filled with servers and computers, a full-on rig. You know those rigs that move? Like on the,
Yeah.
yeah, that's in there. You got that. You got like the nicest monitors you can probably buy. I don't know the model. I bought just this tiny little LG one. It does the job. Not necessary. Both of them are on 60 hertz. I could put 240. I could. Don't really need it. especially since the PS4 caps out at 60 anyway. Caps out at 60 frames per second. I don't need a 240 hertz monitor that only caps at 60 frames. That's useless. It's basically buying a monitor to power or to show off what your rock can do. Or your spaceship. Because that's what a PS4 sounds like when you load up Call of Duty. It's true.
Or Red Dead Redemption.
That too. Any big, even Destiny, any big game, it sounds like it's taking off.
Yep.
And it's not like, okay, maybe I'll modify it, put in better fans, put in an SSD. Why? The PS5's coming out here soon. They'll already have an SSD and hopefully better cooling. So, again, what's the point? So, yeah, that's basically what's going on here. Building a guest house, the neighbors moved in, building this stupid computer room that it actually is stupid. People have told me that, like, I've told them, said, it's stupid, why? Why not?
Yeah.
Because I can.
And that's mindset you should have.
Because I can.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the point? If I made all this money, why can't I spend it? Why do I have to give a certain amount to the bank just so it can be stolen? I'll have it all here. Everything's here.
Yeah.
It's another great thing to have. It's also nice to have an extra house. So if you want to, like, escape, like, let's say the main house was super chaotic. There's no one in the guest house. You just go over to the guest house. It
Yeah.
does the job. Also
Very
does
convenient.
It is very convenient.
Yeah.
I may not tear it down. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see how many people actually come over, because the main house, is 9 bedrooms. So, and we only take up one of them. Well, two. One's my office, but so there's only 2 of them that are taken up. That means 14 people, considering all of them, there's 2 in each room. 14 people can go in the house. So let's say that's not enough, or maybe they just want more privacy. They go to the guest room or the guest house, which is completely theirs. It's got a full kitchen, full, fridge, dishwasher, microwave, air fryer, oven, tons of cabinetry. The fridge is always stocked, by the way. It's completely stocked. So whatever you can make your own meals. You got your own house. Only problem is there's 2 floors and only 1 bathroom. Or you can go into the basement. Immediately when you walk down the basement, there's a toilet in front of you. It's just there. Don't ask me why. It's just there. There's no covering. You can literally just go to the bathroom. Someone can walk down the stairs and they see you. I'm not gonna edit that. That's characteristic. I'm not gonna fix that. It's just funny. Cool. Because let's say if someone's using the bathroom, and you really need to go, you can go down there. It's just there. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. I don't know. It's there. It's also used to be a shower, but that doesn't work anymore. So, nor do you want. And I say, nor do you want to ever take a shower. And if you it's an emergency, you can go down there. But for the most part, you just wait until someone is outside or the bathrooms. It's quite. It's not finished. Let's just say. The hot water heater and the furnace are just out in the open. At least you get your own laundry room. You do have that option. So that's that. I don't know. Here's a good idea. Okay. So you ever heard of a Carvana vending machine? You know those
Car
vending machines?
what?
It's a Carvana vending machine. You There's cars in the vending machine, and you put this big token in that you already paid for, and you choose the car that you
Oh.
already paid for.
Yeah.
What if I did that for my cars? Like I select a car, press it, it
Yeah.
comes down. It'd be expensive and quite useless, but I don't know.
Just have a and just make it look like a vending machine.
Exactly. Like you get to choose your you like put in a token. You
Yeah.
put in F1, you get an F1. Put in SV, you get an SV. Put in AC, you get the ACR. You put uh AS, you get the Senna. It's a weird option, but I don't know. Interesting. It's a
Yeah.
conversation starter.
Yeah.
Hey, what's that?
Well,
That's my car vending machine. Oh,
uh,
please explain.
no, you should also have like a random button. Just you're like, what I don't know what car to drive, and just hit it and just like lights
Whatever.
up each
What?
room with a car in until it stops and like slows down, then ding ding ding, and then chooses a
Ding
random
ding
car.
ding! You win. A
It's the Honda.
1998 Honda. Or it's a blindfold option. You just put a blindfold on and randomly hit a button, and
Mm,
just
yeah.
hope you get a good car. Get a good car choice. And then when you're done with that car, you just drive it in the middle, and then hit a button, and it'll send it back up into its place.
Mm,
That's a strategy. I almost want to
yeah.
do that. Imagine that is your new dealership. McLaren Philadelphia. The vending machine.
Yeah.
Beverly Hills. Lamborghini. The vending machine. You want this Lamborghini Aventador SV? Pay 400 grand. Pay $450,000, and you get this token. Wait, where's the car? You get to put it in the little machine that brings the car towards you, and you can drive it off
Yeah.
out of the vending machine.
And it's a vending machine. It's got the same car in different colors.
Exactly. You get like the same different chip. It's the same chip, but you get it in
Mhm.
different flavors, in different colors.
Exactly.
And also, it's 50 plus car space, so you can fit many cars. I don't care if I don't beat Jay Leno. I get a cooler garage than he is. I have a vending machine. Although I can't really top the guy that has a Pagani Zonda R stuck to the wall. Like an actual car. Slammed to the wall. I don't know why, but you can look that up. There is an actual person who has a Zonda R, which is illegal on the roads, on his wall, in his house.
Yeah, I see it.
Why? I don't know. You wanted to buy this
It's not even
really.
on the wall, it's just the wall. The car
It's.
is the wall.
No, it's on the wall. It's actually mounted on the wall. The real question is, how strong is that wall?
Yeah.
A car's not heavy, but it's not light either. It's like my little car. My little car looks like it'd be very light. I think it weighs 2,800 pounds. And it's a nice it's a nice little car. However, the problem is I still don't think the walls in my own house would support 2,800 pounds. I just don't think that'd work. It just
Uh,
doesn't work that way. I didn't build them for that purpose. If I built them for that purpose, I would build them for that purpose. However, I don't want that purpose. So why build it
mm,
for that purpose? So, I guess we can talk about the new car I bought. So I told you a new Lamborghini's coming soon. Can you
yeah.
guess the new Lamborghini?
Oh.
No, you're not gonna take a guess.
No, I can't. No. I
Oh,
Go
it's
ahead.
supposed
Uh,
to supposed to make it more fun.
uh, uh, I'm guessing it's a new one.
Well, I mean, it's kind of new.
Kind of new. Oh, kind of new. God, I haven't really seen any of the newer ones, but
Well, people that maybe watch this will know. An Aventador SVJ.
all right.
It's the most expensive Aventador I know of, at least. But that's not the reason. The reason why I bought it, it's more track focused of an Aventador, so I went with it.
All right.
I'm usually the one that gets the track versions because, well, that's what I do. I test them on the track. So, interesting option. So, like I said, like the
Looks good.
Viper ACR, there you go.
Mm.
That's track. SVJ, track. Senna, track. Gallardo Superleggera, track. Also Grand Tour, but track. Only car that's not built for the track is the Honda, and the Golf, and the pickup truck. Which, okay, so what do you call the Toyota? So you know the indestructible Toyota truck? What is
Yeah.
that in Sweden? Is it the Hilux? Is that what it is in the EU? I think so. Well, here in America,
I think it's
it's called the Toyota pickup. That's what it's called.
just pickup.
Just pickup.
Huh.
So I have that. I have the Toyota pickup. By the way, actually it's pretty cheap.
Mm.
And I was always like seeing people's like passing them saying, "Oh, it has 300,000 miles." That's too much. I'm going to have to go for a less mileage option. And I'm like, that thing goes 1,000,000 miles. That's an easy option. Just choose it. It's a Toyota
Yeah.
pickup. It's the
It's not
indestructible pickup truck.
Yeah, exactly. It's never gonna break.
It doesn't break. Like, it's indestructible. So, unless
Yeah.
you, like, blow it up, of course. But, I mean, like, for just every day,
But that's
it
like
works.
intentionally trying to destroy it.
Right. Top Gear tried doing that. They couldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, they obviously didn't, like, blow it up with some C4 explosives or do something of that sort, but they did blow it off. They blew up a building and put the pickup truck on top of the building. It ran just fine. After some tools and finicking, which they can only do. They can only do simple tools and no spare parts. So you get out the WD-40 and your little wrench and
Yeah.
work on it. But again, indestructible. But yeah, that's basically it. Adds a new car to the fleet.
Yeah.
I sold the
Very
C8.
nice. Yeah.
I sold it the day before production started again. So that guy that bought
Tactical.
that guy was just, oh man. I was waiting for him to ask for like a refund. I'm like, he didn't bother. So at least he kept to that idea.
Yeah.
I had.
Strategic.
I was going to
Very
sell
strategic.
I was gonna sell the Gallardo, but I didn't want to. That wasn't an option. No one really. It's really hard to find a gated manual like that.
Yeah.
Like the Viper has. It's much nicer. So I have that. I sold the Raptor that I had. I didn't. Only reason why I did that is because I didn't really like it. In the sense that it was a good truck. I don't like the idea that they put artificial sound in the car. It's a V6.
Yeah.
Which you really can't complain. It's the same V6 put in the Ford GT. But, and also you really can't tow anything with it. It's not really made for towing. Per se, it's made for like off-road racing and Baja racing. So you really can't tow anything with it. So wasn't
Kind
an
of
option.
defeats the purpose of having a truck.
Exactly. The Toyota can tow 14,000 pounds.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty worth it. That's basically what some trucks do today. So I think that's pretty worth it. Well, and it was cheap. and it's still running to this day.
Yeah.
It now has, hold on, I wrote it down here someplace. Nice, 423,683 miles. Nothing has gone
Yeah.
wrong. I've had it
Yeah.
since 50,000. So, it was my second ever car. And the reason why is because we were moving. And we needed something to, move.
Bring your
And
stuff.
the little Honda wouldn't have done that. It's not really good for moving. I mean, it's good enough that you can haul some things in it, but it's not made to haul a ton of things for obvious reasons. Because it's a two-door car. It's not going to have that much space in the first place. But the car was cheap. I wanted a new car anyway, and this Toyota is indestructible.
Yeah.
So I went with it, and now, basically 380,000 miles later, it's still running. Only thing I had to do was replace the oil pan. The reason why is because the owner, I guess, hit a rock or something and it dented it, and that's not very good
Yeah.
because it holds less oil now, and some of the oil can't go into the engine. So because of that, just replaced that. Of course, you have to do your regular maintenance like serpentine belts, spark plugs, but all that stuff. Only other thing that's gone wrong, of course, it has rusted a bit. However, luckily, I've gotten rid of the rust and then undercoated it and sprayed down the entire frame and chassis with rust-proof ceramic coating, and it's worked just fine then. So
Very good.
does the job then. I can definitely confirm that your Honda is faster than both my Honda and the truck combined. So,
Yeah.
that's all I can say. You really can't, I don't want to make that truck faster because if I do, it could ruin the engine in theory. So we're just going to keep it the same and see how far it goes.
Keep it standard.
Exactly.
OEM or.
Exactly. Keep it the way the manufacturer built it. However, it's just undercoated and put some beefier tires on it because, I don't know, it's fun.
Looks better.
It does look a little better, but it's on the same lift, so it's just a little bit bigger tire. It's not too much bigger. I didn't do like a whole stance game and put wheel spacers. No. I don't really like those. And also, it's illegal here. You're not allowed to have your wheel coming out of the fender without it covered.
Okay.
I don't know. It's some weird law that someone decided to create. So
You can't have hot rods without fenders.
no, you can have that. You just can't have trucks.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, trucks, people can build like 6-inch wheel spacers.
Yeah.
That the entire wheel just sticks out of the car. Hot rods,
Yeah.
they didn't have fenders in the first place. But for like trucks, they do have these fenders, and it's the reason why it's bad is because it can chuck up rocks, and the fender is supposed to keep them in so it doesn't chuck up and hit someone. Well, it can do that because it doesn't have any cover for it, so it can chuck up a rock into someone's windshield, and that's not very good. You're gonna have a bad time. So they didn't bother. However, I don't know. Some people still do it anyway because it is legal in places like North Carolina. It's legal there. It's not legal here. You gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. I wasn't about that game anyway, but I know some people are into that. I'm more about just keeping the car clean in the way that it doesn't look modified. Like some cars you can tell that they've been modified. Not by the sound, by the look. By like putting front canards, front splitter, bigger wing. Not like that. Only way that you can tell that my cars are modified in any way is the sound. Because I basically straight piped everything. Just sounds better.
Yeah. I really wish it was legal here.
Well, it's not legal here. However, I got the jurisdiction of getting away with that.
Oh yeah.
So because of that, eh, free game. I'd also like to talk about that. So, um,
Mm.
basically, for this summer, I have nothing to do.
Yeah. Okay.
So, because I got all my projects done that I usually would do the summer, because, I don't know, the pandemic was here and I didn't have as much to do, so I just filled my time and do it then. So I have this summer to do, and I have nothing to do. So, I decided to do something that's different. I decided to get a regular 9 to 5, 40-hour job for the summer.
Okay.
Because I've never actually had that experience. I've never
Oh.
went to like a McDonald's or another name grocery store,
Yeah.
and never actually worked. I've always done with cars. It's what I've done. So to, I don't know, do this big 9 to 5 is quite, it would be a different experience as well. So I can't say I'm very versatile in what I do. Only thing is, do not show up in a very nice suit for that has a badge of the car brand that you work for on, and go to an interview to another car place.
Yes.
Didn't quite work so well.
Sounds like a bad idea.
It was, and they said, well, I'm like, and oh, okay, whatever. So I just got a grocery store job, just to see what it's like, and then during the fall and winter when I actually start working again, I can maybe kind of lay it off a little bit, or maybe just work weekends or something like that, just to keep the idea that I have another source of income.
Hmm.
That's,
Yeah.
even though I don't need it, it's just I'm always wanting to work. So if I don't have anything to work on, I'll go find some.
Yeah. That's good.
And if that means I have to,
Hmm.
so yeah, so it's basically just something to work on.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of that, the Prius, the Ferrari,
Yeah.
um,
You.
it didn't work like it should have. What it should have done is the Prius was supposed to connect to the Ferrari's batteries.
Yeah.
However, I could not get the software to connect. It was just completely different software that they use. So basically, I'm driving this car that's supposed to have this V12 with 900 horsepower. What
Yeah.
I actually have is a four-cylinder that produces 95 horsepower. And obviously, that's obviously a disappointment, because
Yeah.
some guy saw I pulled up to a traffic light. This guy's in a Mustang,
Uh-huh.
and he's wanting to race. He's wanting to race.
Yeah.
So I'm like, sure, I gotta keep this stuff going. Somehow, he's not like he can't hear the four-cylinder purring in the background. Doesn't
Yeah.
sound like a V12. So the light turned green. He sets off. He's about the next two lights down just before I get halfway to the next light. And I pull over the gas. He comes by and he's like, "What happened?" And I'm like, "I should tell you. There's not a V12 in there. There's a Prius engine in there." And he's like, "What?" I'm like, "I saw the video of some guy putting a Ferrari engine in a GT86, and a comment said put a Prius engine in a LaFerrari, and I did that, and that's what happened." So I basically took the Prius engine out, which, by the way, I basically modified that Ferrari. That Ferrari is no longer going to quite go back to normal. I can get it back to normal. I have the regular engine mounts, and I could take off the parts to the frame that I mounted to it, which I did, and it's now normal again.
Uh,
Normal in the sense that it doesn't have a rear bumper,
mm,
because that didn't come with the car. It's like
oh.
getting Lego pieces, and that one little Lego piece that connects the entire thing together doesn't come with it. And you're basically just stuck. So yeah, I did a rear bumper delete. I don't know. I didn't have it in the first place.
Oh.
So, so there we go. The other LaFerrari that I had is just not usable. I have the V12. It's out. It's out of the car. The batteries are also out of the car. The wheels are off the car. The pop-up wing to brake that pops out, that's out. I got that out. All of the like Ferrari badging is off the car. Basically, this is just now a shell with a
Oh.
chassis. Um, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I may just like keep it as like a nice little piece to have, like to have it someplace. Or, like, I was also thinking about this. So, as a kid, maybe you didn't have this, but maybe you saw this. Had a Lightning McQueen race car bed. You
Yeah, I know. I
now you know where I'm going with this.
yeah, I know where you're going with this. So like a king size bed, but it's a
It's
LaFerrari.
I mean, there's nothing. It wasn't usable. It wasn't drivable. The frame
Yeah.
was bent. So it's just I'm not willing to fix it. So might as well put it in this nice bed and get a finally have that dream of having a race car bed. However, it is a $3 million Ferrari. But it's besides the point. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I don't know if I'm gonna try to put it all back together and fix it, which I could do, and sell it. I don't know if I'm gonna, try to take it, put like make it modified a bit, maybe put like a racing V12 in it, and
Mm.
put the batteries back in, add a little bit extra horsepower, and try to fix it. I don't know if I'll just keep the Ferrari engine and then put the wheels back on, put everything back in, and have it as a movable chassis to maybe do different engine fitting, and maybe put a modified engine that is not a LaFerrari, but I don't know, make it a drag car. I don't know. It's
Mm.
just
It could be interesting.
that'd be a little interesting. LaFerrari versus Chevy Nova. Who's gonna win? Oh, the LaFerrari did a 5 second quarter mile. All right, but
A
I don't know
LaFerrari funny car.
exactly. But I'm gonna take this Ferrari engine, just this V12,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna do exactly what we were talking about last week, and put it in my golf cart.
Let's go. It's gonna be sick.
I'm gonna die. You're never gonna hear from me ever again. No, I can't put it in the golf cart. It's just too big. It
Yeah.
basically would ruin the. Or, so I have the golf cart that has the 4 row seating, or the 2 row seating. I could take out the rear seats and just completely get rid of the rear end, or just take off all the pits that you would put your golf clubs on, and just mount the engine behind you, and
Yeah.
just put like something around it so if something flies off, it doesn't kill you. Do that. Put drag tires on it and become a drag golf cart. That'd be funny.
Yeah,
That'd be even
that'd be
more
cool.
funny than a LaFerrari funny car. A golf
Yeah.
cart funny car. Oh yeah, we've
Oh
fallen
yeah.
now. Or put it in my Honda and
Yeah.
make it an ultimate sleeper car by mounting it sideways and doing that. And there, and
Or convert it to rear wheel drive with the V12.
that already it's all-wheel drive. Did that for because I live in an area where it snows,
Oh, okay.
and why not? I did that,
Yeah.
so it'd be all-wheel drive
Oh.
Honda with a V12 and a Ferrari steering wheel,
Yeah.
Ferrari transmission, Ferrari dashboard, Ferrari wait a minute, I'm coming up with way more ideas. What about a Ferrari, the Prius, put the V12 in the
Yeah,
Prius.
in a Prius. That could be cool.
Sleeper
I've
Prius.
seen someone put a 2JC in a Prius before.
But have you ever seen someone put a LaFerrari engine in a
Exactly.
Prius? That's a different story. That'd be a weird thing to do.
Yeah.
Just because they're like, oh, it's just a Prius. You get an exhaust that sounds like a Prius, but once you open the valves, it sounds like a V12. And just do that. So when you're
Yeah.
driving, and you're like, oh, it's just a Prius, and I go up to race this Mustang, and he's like, oh, I got this. Floor it.
You just press a button.
V12 activated.
And it's like, oh no, what have I done?
What have you done? I, I I got 4 more cylinders than you, and I'm probably like 400 more horsepower, and a Prius that's
Yep.
light as everything, but I could keep it as a hybrid and put the Ferrari batteries in the Prius and make it so I can switch. So what I mean by that is switch like like an NSX, like the new NSX where you can switch it, or
Yeah.
not like a new NSX, like the P1, where you can just make it all electric,
Mm.
and then when you want to have that V8 engine noise and all that power combined, you can do that. I might do that. It's just another project. That's it's not necessary. Definitely didn't need to. Probably gonna get a Ferrari cease and desist letter. But again, I'm not
Especially
so.
if you turn it into a bed.
I don't think they can stop you there, especially since I'm not a media influence. I don't document my life with a camera. I don't
Yeah.
plan to. I'm never going to. I'm never going to post anything. This is as close as you're gonna get. So accept it, because it's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'd like to
Yeah.
keep my very nice, lavish lifestyle and my
Yeah.
working lifestyle separate, in a
Yeah.
way that when I'm just playing normally, you just kind of you get the gamer me, and then when we're kind of in the car, the podcast is in the middle. You kind of
Yeah.
get me, but you get it as an insider information a little bit.
Yeah.
But I like to keep those separate. It's much nicer. That's why when I go on my normal cars, I just say I work at a grocery store.
Mm.
So it's a way to keep my cover. Because then you say, oh yeah, I work for this so company and I make this amount of money. People are going to be like, why do you own that? There are going to be so much more questions. And then they're going to be asking where I live and all this stuff. It's basically, you got,
A big target on your back, you know.
right, it's just a big target on my back. So you got a Honda Civic at a grocery store. And you got a LaFerrari bed.
Someone drives past you and says like, "That's a shitty car you got there," and you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna be so mad." He's gonna be so mad when he finds out that I have a LaFerrari bed.
It's a rolling chassis, but it's a bed. Hmm.
Yeah.
That'd be a great idea. Just cut off the roof. Take
You know
out
what?
take out
You,
just a bit of the rear end. Fit a bed in it.
yeah.
Cause here's the difference. I don't have a king size or a queen size bed.
Yeah.
I sleep very small. I sleep in a condensed area because I don't know. That's what I was comfortable with. So because of that, I'm just using a full bed, which would be easier to get in the LaFerrari than it would be a king or a queen,
Yeah.
which would be nice. So it's just something I don't like, having that big bed that's half of it doesn't get used. So I don't know. It's also saves space, saves money, because queen size sheets are not cheap. For the good ones, the good So I just have that. Okay. Now the real question is, how am I going to get a Ferrari chassis up an elevator? I didn't think this through.
Hmm.
Nah, I got this. Okay, so I live on the first floor, and there's two ways to get into the house. There's a front door and a garage door. The garage door immediately by the way, it's a fake garage, immediately lives into the bedroom. So, in theory, I could do that. But I don't sleep down there, I sleep on the top floor. But I can move everything down to the bottom floor and just do that. Or it can be a guest room.
Or you could put it in uh,
Car
the
vending
guest
machine.
house,
Oh, yes.
so that you're like, oh well, you guys can like you get some friends over or something, like, oh well, you guys can get the guest house, you know. And then
It's
they're
like,
like,
why
oh
did
well, you know, the old the old house out there, and then they walk in and there's just a LaFerrari bed. They're like, what?
they won't know what it is. Why is there a Ferrari in here? Where's the bed? I'm
Yeah.
like, that is the bed. And it's like, where's the bed? Oh, it's right there. Wow.
It's in here.
It's in there. It's like, how did you do that? I don't know. Like I said, if I get a Ferrari cease and desist letter in the mail, I'm fighting that because, first of all, the, I'm not documenting. I don't have a million followers. I rather not, as we talked about this last week.
Yeah.
I rather not. So because of that, they shouldn't. I'm not publicizing it. So basically, this LaFerrari bed might not ever exist, which, to the public, it will not. But for the rest of us, maybe. We'll
Maybe.
just maybe. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't know. Let's
You
see.
could also like try to make it as light as possible and just stick it to the wall like all the other rich guys do with cars.
Yeah, but they actually have the engine in the car.
Yeah, but I
Eh,
mean, you can put a proxy inside of it.
I could put the Prius engine in it.
Yeah.
Just
Just
stick it
hang it
back
on the
into the
wall.
wall. It'd be light. It'd be light and put no batteries in it. It's just the Prius engine. Like I
Yeah.
said, I think if I could somehow get the Prius engine to work with the LaFerrari batteries, I think it'd be a much better car, because it'd still
Hmm.
produce like 400 horsepower, which is a lot more than old Ferraris. So I could technically beat them, but they'd expect that. I still can't beat Mustangs that have 500, 600 horsepower. Even though I am lighter, the batteries are still very heavy, and it's got a Prius engine, which doesn't make much horsepower unless I make it have a lot by completely destroying the idea of having this eco-friendly Prius engine and make it like a 2-liter 4-cylinder that produces 500 horsepower like a rally car has. I could do that in theory, which then that just makes like 800 horsepower, which means I should, in theory, keep up with normal. Let's put that in air quotes. Normal Ferraris. But yeah, so it was good. A good one.